Hi ladies, this is Ashley Kay, and I've had a pretty terrible week of coughing and feeling sick. So today I finally feel well enough to make some more videos. So I'm quite excited to do that for you. Now, today I wanted to talk about signs that a man is afraid to commit and doesn't even know it. So as you date guys, there will be some guys that will give you a lot of mixed signs, mixed signals. 1 minute he is all over you or into you, and then the next he's pulling away, he's cold. And these kind of guys can be very confusing. So I wanted to give you some signs on what to look for that shows you he has conflicting thoughts and ideas about commitment. Okay, so first of all, this guy, the reason he has conflicting thoughts is that on the one hand, he wants intimacy, he wants closeness, he wants a relationship, or he thinks he wants one. So he tries to go out there and tries to get one, usually very intensely. And then as he starts to succeed and capture that woman's heart, and he gets closer to her, that's when the other side of him that screams for freedom, okay, for, for not being attached, comes out and pulls him in that other direction to say, oh, I don't want this close. Okay, I want closeness, but I don't want this close. I want to pull away now. I want some freedom. So he is always conflicted between wanting closeness and wanting freedom at the same time, which, as you know, this is pretty hard to do because the two kind of contradict each other. Okay, so what are the signs? Okay, sign number one, he has dated a lot of women in the past. So I recently looked this up, and the average amount of women a man will date before he gets married is 6. And usually 2 out of those will be long-term relationships. So if your man tells you he has dated a lot of women, as in, a number that way surpasses that 6, then it could be a sign that he has commitment conflicts. So if he's dated 10 plus, 15 plus, I used to have a boyfriend and he told me he had 17, 18 girlfriends. And that should have been a red flag to me at the time, but I didn't see that as a sign, I didn't know at the time that was a red flag. Okay, I just kind of thought, oh wow, he's just picky. He has standards like me. This is a good thing. That's what I thought. But trust me, if a man is going through that many women, it's not, yes, it's a sign he's picky, but he's probably picky in the wrong ways. And he's using that pickiness as a defense mechanism to push women away, to push intimacy away. Sign number 2, there is a clear cutoff date to his relationships. So if you dig a little more into his previous relationships and he tells you most of those relationships lasted 3 months, 6 months, a year, okay? Usually there will be around a year or less. That's another red flag. Sign number 3, he pushes for a commitment early on in the relationship. Now, this is confusing because normally you would think if a man is afraid of commitment, he would show that from the beginning. But like I said, this kind of guy, when he has freedom, when he's single, he wants a relationship. He wants closeness and intimacy. But he wants closeness and intimacy. But once he gets it, that's when he pulls away. So when he is in courtship phase and he is chasing you, he's going to do everything in his power to capture your heart, to make you fall in love with him. So it's like whatever he needs to say, whatever he needs to do, he will play the perfect boyfriend role. He will, do all kinds of nice, sweet things for you, give you roses, cook dinner for you, get you to meet his friends, his family, anything he feels he needs to do to get you, to make you his. So this does depend on how much barriers you put up. The more barriers you put up, the harder you make it for a guy, the more he has to try. And this kind of guy, when he sees something he likes, he's going to try really, really hard to cement that relationship, especially if you're making it hard on him, because he feels the most intense about a woman when she is far away. Okay, it's when she is actually close to him that's when he feels like the walls are caving in and he needs to escape, he needs to run. Sign number 4, he is usually the dumper of his relationships. So if you ask him how his previous relationships ended and he tells you he has dumped the majority of his girlfriends, if not all of them, huge red flag. Okay, huge red flag that he is definitely picky, and he's the one that's dictating how far he's going to allow the intimacy in the relationship. Sign number 5, he has a history of love affairs. So if he tells you he was in a relationship when he started seeing someone else, but that relationship was ending, okay? He tells you he has had affairs in the past, he's dated 2 women at once, he maybe cheated on women, that's a clear red flag. Now, you may think, well, gee, that's obvious, right? Most women, if you ask them when they're not attached to anybody, they'll be like, well, it's obvious. You don't date a guy who has cheated on his exes in the past, right? But don't underestimate the power of your emotions. When you get attached to someone, there are a lot of ways to okay away, those red flags, okay? So he will also help you rationalize away those the red flags. So he will make it look like, well, he wasn't entirely the bad guy. He was already on his way out. He didn't know how to end that relationship, or he was undecided choosing between 2 women. Or he will make the situation seem like, yeah, I can see why you would do that, okay? And here's the thing, women want to be sympathetic. We want to be understanding, especially to someone we really like. So you will probably, be okay with his excuses. Sign number 6, he pulls away when he gets closer to you or after he finally gets you. So like I said, this kind of guy, he wants closeness and freedom at the same time. So once he actually senses he has you, okay, that you are actually his, that you are not running from him anymore, you've turned your love to him and you're starting to open up to him, that's when he will do an immediate 180 change and he will start to feel panicky and want to run away. Sign number 6, he swings from wanting a lot of sex to withdrawing completely from having any kind of sex. Once again, he's going to want to control how much intimacy he has in the relationship. So sometimes especially in the beginning, he'll want to have a lot of sex. And then once he gets closer to you, he will want to withdraw. And sex is one way of withdrawing from you. And last sign number 8, he believes he doesn't have a commitment problem. He hasn't found the right one yet problem. These kind of guys are absolutely convinced that as soon as they find the one, their dream girl, then they're going to happily commit. Okay, they have it in their head that they don't have an issue, they don't have a problem. It's just that they haven't found the right woman yet for them. So those are the 8 signs. If you see a guy has any of these signs, then I would be very, very careful and to protect your heart, because most likely it's not going to end well. So if you liked this video, please like me, don't forget to comment below and to subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with another video real soon. Bye.